Hey everybody, Shaun Hadsall here with Get Lean in 12, and for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm a 45-year-old stubborn fat expert and a grandpa to 3 beautiful grandkids, and I've helped over 100,000 people in just the last 5 years alone with my fat loss and fitness products. And inside this short video, I'm going to uncover how to release and burn off stubborn fat cells in 12 minutes flat. Now, if you're over 35 years old, this is extremely important for you because this is going to be much better than HIIT or intervals for people over 40 years old. If you're not familiar with HIIT, it simply stands for high intensity interval training. This is a very trendy technique and it works excellent for burning off stubborn belly fat if you're in your 20s and 30s. But as you approach 35 and get towards 40 years old, your hormonal condition starts to change dramatically. And traditional interval training or high intensity interval training can actually cause severe adrenal fatigue. So what I've done is I've come up with a solution to this problem, and I call it Metabolic Zone Training. And there are 3 zones that you absolutely must enter if you're over 35 years old in order to access and burn off stubborn belly fat. The first zone I call prime, and this is simply to prime your hormones. So insulin is your body's #1 fat storing hormone, and if insulin is elevated before you go to move or exercise, your body can't burn belly fat. So what we want to do is we want to stabilize insulin. So if you've eaten in the last few hours, the best way to do this before exercise is to simply take a walk for about 5 minutes. That will stabilize insulin so that when you go into the workout, your body is now in the perfect environment to access stubborn fat cells. An even better way to do this is to fast. So simply waiting 4 to 5 hours after a meal, so you're entering the exercise session in a fasted state. This will allow your body's fight or flight hormones to be released, adrenaline. And adrenaline can actually burn off stubborn fat cells. And so you can either wait 4 to 5 hours after a meal, or you can wake up in the morning on an empty stomach in a fasted state, have a couple glasses of water. And as long as you're not diabetic and you're healthy and you've been cleared by your doctor to exercise, and you engage in an exercise session in a fasted state, your body can actually access stubborn fat cells up to 300% faster if you understand the right movement patterns. And that takes us to zone number 2. So once your metabolism is primed, now you want to release. You want to release stubborn fat cells because your body's you're primed now to burn fat. So now we need to do some metabolic bursting. And this is different than HIIT or intervals. There are specific 20 to 30 second movement patterns that are designed specifically for the hormonal condition of people over 35 years old. And by engaging in these 20 to 30 second movement patterns, you'll go ahead and you'll release adrenaline, which will go ahead and break apart stubborn fat cells and actually release them into the bloodstream so they can be burned off. However, if you don't understand how to enter zone 3, zone 1 and 2 don't mean anything. They're simply not going to work because you could be suffering from something that we call fat defense. So zone 3 is you must burn off these stubborn fat cells that are floating around in your bloodstream. What happens after you turn 35 years old is after you release these stubborn fat cells, your body will actually restore them in another area of your body. In the scientific world, we call this re-esterification. So we've coined it fat defense, and you must stop fat defense if you want to burn off stubborn belly fat. Now what I've done is somewhere around this video, you're going to see a link to click or tap. And I'm going to uncover inside this video how you can enter all 3 of these zones and burn off more belly fat in 12 short minutes than an hour of traditional exercise. So thanks for watching this video and keep going strong.